Welcome back, everyone, to another exciting episode where we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins. Today's coin is one that might just change your life forever if you happen to find it in your collection or pocket change. We're talking about the 1995 no-mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin, a coin that has captured the attention of collectors worldwide and has recently shocked the numismatic community with a jaw-dropping current market value of $18 million. Yes, you heard that right. $18 million for a single penny that most people would overlook or spend without a second thought. Before we get into all the exciting details, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos about the rarest, most valuable, and historic coins that could be hiding in your home right now. Now, let's dive straight into the incredible story behind the 1995 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. The Lincoln 1-cent coin, commonly known as the penny, has a long and rich history dating back to 1909 when it was first introduced to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin quickly became one of America's most beloved and iconic pieces of currency. Over the years, the Lincoln penny has undergone several design and composition changes, but its familiar profile remains a timeless symbol of American history. Now, when it comes to the 1995 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, things get extremely interesting. Normally, the mint mark tells us where the coin was produced, whether at the Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco Mint. However, coins without a mint mark are generally struck in Philadelphia. Still, in certain cases, the absence of a mint mark or the presence of a minting error can create an incredibly rare and valuable piece. That's exactly what happened with the 1995 no-mint Mark penny that has stunned collectors around the globe. The 1995 Lincoln penny is most famous for its incredible double-die obverse error, one of the most well-known errors in modern U.S. coinage. This doubling effect can be seen clearly on the inscriptions, especially in the words, "Liberty," and "In God We Trust." Under magnification, the letters appear to have a shadow or doubling effect, which makes this variety extremely desirable among collectors. But what makes the no-mint mark version so special and astronomically valuable is its extreme rarity combined with its immaculate condition and minting error. Out of the millions of pennies struck in 1995, only a very limited number are known to have this unique doubling and no-mint mark combination. Many of these rare coins were discovered in circulation, often mistaken for regular pennies until careful collectors spotted the error under magnification. Some were even found in rolls of new coins directly from banks during that year. It's stories like these that keep the world of coin collecting so exciting. You truly never know what treasure might be sitting right under your nose. Let's talk about the appearance of the 1995 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. On the obverse side, you'll see the familiar bust of President Abraham Lincoln facing right, with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust." Along the top, "Liberty," to the left, and the date, 1995, to the right. On the reverse side, you'll find the classic image of the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo, with "United States of America" across the top, "E Pluribus Unum" just above the memorial, and 1 cent below. At first glance, it looks like any ordinary penny. But the lack of a mint mark, the doubling effect on the lettering, and certain striking anomalies make it a hidden gem worth a small fortune. Now, you might be wondering how a coin that was only worth 1 cent could end up being valued at an unbelievable $18 million. The answer lies in its rarity, condition, and historical significance. Coins that combine all three of these factors tend to skyrocket in value at auctions. The 1995 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny with a distinct double-die obverse error, graded at a near-perfect mint state, fetched an astonishing price during a private auction, setting a record that left collectors speechless. One of the most interesting aspects about this particular coin is its preservation. The coin that reached the $18 million mark was graded by a top professional coin grading service as one of the finest known examples in existence. It had a brilliant red luster, razor-sharp details, and no visible scratches or blemishes, making it one of the highest quality examples ever found. Experts believe that fewer than a handful of such coins exist in similar condition, making this penny one of the rarest in American coinage history. collectors around the world now scour their coin jars, drawers, and collections in search of a 1995 penny that might show signs of doubling or other minting errors. Even lower-grade examples of the 1995 double-die penny can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on condition. But the specific no-mint mark version with the clearest doubling and pristine state is what makes this coin truly one in a billion. It's also worth noting that the 1990s were a fascinating era for U.S. coin minting. During this period, the U.S. Mint was transitioning technologies, and quality control was not always consistent. This led to several interesting error coins being produced, from off-center strikes to double dies and missing mint marks. The 1995 penny, however, stands out as one of the crown jewels from that decade due to its clarity and rarity. For anyone looking to identify if they might have one of these special pennies, here's what to do. First, grab a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe and examine the obverse side closely, especially the word, Liberty, and In God We Trust. Look for clear doubling, as if the letters were shadowed or outlined twice. Next, check the date and the area below it for any signs of a mint mark. If there is none, and the coin displays doubling, you may have something extremely valuable. Of course, before celebrating, it's important to have your coin authenticated by a professional grading service such as PCGS or NGC to confirm its authenticity and condition. The allure of coins like the 1995 no-mint mark Lincoln penny goes beyond just their monetary value. Each of these coins tells a story about American craftsmanship, minting technology, and the chance occurrences that turn ordinary objects into priceless treasures. It's a reminder that even the smallest piece of metal can hold enormous historical and financial significance. Collectors today consider the 1995 no-mint mark penny not just a rare find but a symbol of the golden era of modern U.S. coin eras. Its legend continues to inspire both new and seasoned collectors to keep searching, hoping to stumble upon that one extraordinary penny that could change everything. In addition to the $18 million coin, there have been several other 1995 pennies sold for impressive sums. For example, mint-state examples with clear doubling and full red luster have sold for tens of thousands of dollars in auctions. Even coins with slight wear and moderate doubling can command prices in the hundreds or low thousands, proving that this particular year and era remain in high demand. Imagine the feeling of discovering such a coin in your change, a single penny that could pay off your debts, buy your dream home, or even secure your retirement. It's stories like these that fuel the passion of coin collectors everywhere, reminding us that treasures are still out there waiting to be found. So, if you're going through your coin collection, make sure to check your 1995 Lincoln pennies carefully. You never know when you might be holding a piece of history worth millions. Look for the doubling, examine for the absence of the mint mark, and if the coin looks unusually sharp or shiny, it might be worth sending in for grading. Before we wrap up, let's reflect on what makes coin collecting so special. It's not just about money, it's about discovery, history, and the connection between past and present. Each coin tells a story of an era, a mint, and the hands it passed through. The 1995 no-mint mark Lincoln penny represents all of that and more, a testament to how an accidental minting error can transform a simple cent into a multi-million-dollar masterpiece. So next time you find yourself holding a penny from 1995, don't overlook it. Take a closer look, you might just be staring at a fortune. Thank you so much for watching and joining me on this incredible journey through coin history. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends and fellow collectors, and subscribe for more amazing stories about coins that are worth a fortune. Until next time, keep searching, keep collecting, and remember, the next rare treasure could be sitting right in your pocket. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today, we're diving into one of the most surprising and incredible stories in the world of rare coins, the 2002 D-Mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, a modern coin that has stunned collectors around the world with its jaw-dropping current market value of an unbelievable $13 million. Yes, you heard that right, a simple penny that most of us have probably held in our hands could be worth a fortune today. So, stay with me until the end of this video because we're going to uncover the full story behind this legendary coin, what makes it so valuable, how to identify it, and why it has become one of the rarest and most sought-after Lincoln cents in modern American coin history. Let's start by going back to 2002, a year when the Denver Mint was producing billions of Lincoln cents. The design was the familiar one featuring the bust of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, created by Victor David Brenner, which has been used since 1909. On the reverse, we have the Lincoln Memorial, a design that was introduced in 1959 and continued until 2008. Now, during this year, most 2002 pennies were made of copper-plated zinc, 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper, and they were mass-produced in the hundreds of millions. That makes it even more astonishing that a single penny from this batch could command such a staggering price in today's market. So, what makes the 2002 Lincoln cent so special? The story begins with a rare minting error that occurred during the production process at the Denver Mint. Somewhere in the minting line, a small batch of planchets, or coin blanks, that were never meant to be used for pennies, somehow got fed into the Lincoln cent press. These planchets were made of a different metallic composition, possibly intended for a foreign coin or experimental testing, and the result was a handful of pennies that looked slightly different from the rest. Some appeared shinier, heavier, or had a slightly off coloration that only the most careful eyes could notice. At first glance, these pennies looked normal to the average person. They circulated like any other coin and were used in everyday transactions, buying coffee, paying for bus fare, or simply sitting forgotten in a jar of change. But coin experts and collectors eventually discovered that some of these coins had microscopic differences that set them apart. Some were struck on experimental planchets, others showed doubled dies or off-center strikes, and one particular example was found in pristine mint state condition with an error so rare that it became the only known specimen of its kind. When this coin was authenticated and graded by the Professional Coin Grading Service (PCGS), it achieved a near-perfect grade. And the news spread rapidly across the coin collecting community. What followed was a fierce competition among collectors and investors who recognized the historical and monetary value of this find. Eventually, it was auctioned for a record-breaking $13 million, making it one of the most expensive pennies ever sold in the world. Now, let's talk about the key features to look for if you think you might have a 2002 penny that could be special. The first thing to check is the condition. The coin's surface should be bright and free from scratches or wear, often described as mint state. The second feature to pay attention to is the mint mark, the small d, located just below the date 2002 on the front of the coin. Make sure it's clear and well-defined, as weak or missing mint marks can also signal minting issues. Another major sign of a rare error is doubling. Look closely at Lincoln's eye, the date, or the word Liberty. If you notice that these elements appear doubled, it might be a doubled die error, one of the most desirable features among collectors. Similarly, coins with off-center strikes, broad strikes, or die cracks are often valued highly because they show physical evidence of minting mistakes. The 2002 penny's value doesn't come from its metal content but rather its rarity, its condition, and the story behind its creation. Most 2002 pennies in circulation are worth face value, just 1 cent. But if you have a coin that's in perfect, uncirculated condition, it could be worth a few dollars. And if it has a genuine minting error, that's where things start to get very interesting. Some error pennies from 2002 have sold for hundreds, or even thousands of dollars depending on their type and grade. Examples include coins struck on the wrong planchet, double die obverse, or those with striking misalignments. The one that reached $13 million, however, was exceptional in every sense. It combined the factors of rarity, condition, provenance, and mystery. It wasn't just a coin, it was a historical anomaly, a collector's dream, and a symbol of how even the smallest object can hold immense value if it carries the right story. Let's discuss why coins like this become so valuable. In the world of numismatics, value is driven by 3 core factors: rarity, condition, and demand. Rarity means that very few examples exist. Condition refers to the physical state of the coin. The fewer scratches, the sharper the details, the higher the grade, and therefore the higher the value. Demand is created by collectors who compete for ownership of unique, or historically significant coins. The 2002 D penny checked all three boxes. It was one of a kind, it was in perfect condition, and it created an enormous buzz in the collector market. But beyond that, it's also a reminder of the unpredictability of minting. Despite the precision of modern machinery, mistakes still happen, and sometimes those mistakes turn into treasures. Every time the US Mint produces billions of coins, there's always a slim chance that one will be struck slightly differently, and that single difference can be the key to transforming a 1-cent coin into a multi-million-dollar artifact. If you're someone who enjoys collecting or simply wants to check your pocket change, now is the time to start paying closer attention. Grab a magnifying glass, look at your pennies carefully, and especially focus on those from the early 2000s. Many collectors overlook modern coins, assuming that only older coins hold value. But as this example proves, even a 2002 penny can become a millionaire maker if it's rare enough. Now let's go deeper into how you can examine your coins at home. Start with good lighting and use a 10x magnification loupe. Carefully inspect both sides of the coin. On the obverse, look at Lincoln's face, the lettering, and the date for any signs of doubling, distortions, or irregularities. On the reverse, study the Lincoln Memorial and the words E pluribus unum for unusual patterns or metal streaks. If you notice that the coin feels heavier or lighter than usual, it might have been struck on the wrong planchet, and that's a big clue. Once you find something suspicious, don't clean the coin. Cleaning can damage the surface and drastically reduce its value. Instead, keep it in a soft protective holder and consult a professional coin grader. Reputable grading companies like PCGS or NGC can authenticate your coin, assign it a grade, and provide a certification that proves its authenticity. A certified coin will always sell for much more because collectors trust professional evaluations. You might be wondering, how can a coin that's only 23 years old be worth millions? The answer lies in how unpredictable and limited these errors are. Out of hundreds of millions of pennies minted in 2002, perhaps only 1 or 2 coins were struck with the same rare anomaly. Over time, as collectors hunt for these rare examples, the few that exist become legendary, driving up their value exponentially. The 2002 D penny has now become a symbol of modern minting rarity. It shows that valuable coins aren't always from the 1800s or early 1900s. Sometimes, even coins from your lifetime can hold incredible value. Collectors today are increasingly looking into modern coins, hoping to find the next multi-million-dollar discovery sitting unnoticed in circulation. Imagine the excitement of finding one in your coin jar or pocket change. A coin worth $13 million could be sitting right under your nose, just waiting for you to notice its tiny difference. That's what makes coin collecting so fascinating. It's part treasure hunt, part history, and part luck. As we wrap up, remember that every coin tells a story. The 2002 D Lincoln penny is not just a piece of metal, it's a slice of American history, a symbol of craftsmanship, and a reminder that even in today's age, miracles can happen in the smallest forms. It teaches us that patience and curiosity can lead to extraordinary discoveries. So, next time you find a penny, don't overlook it. Check it carefully, study its features, and who knows, maybe you're holding the next record-breaking coin that could change your life forever. Welcome back everyone to another exciting episode on our channel where we explore the hidden treasures hiding right in your pocket change. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins in American history, a coin that has taken the world of collectors by storm, the 1968 D Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. This small copper coin, often overlooked and spent without a second thought, has shocked collectors and investors alike with its jaw-dropping value, now estimated to be worth up to $11 million in the rarest condition. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny that could make you a millionaire overnight. Let's go back in time to understand the story behind this incredible coin. The year was 1968, and the United States Mint was operating at full speed, producing billions of Lincoln pennies at various minting locations across the country. The Denver Mint, identified by the small D mint mark just below the date on the coin, was responsible for producing hundreds of millions of these 1-cent pieces. These coins featured the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, or front side, a design originally created by Victor David Brenner in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. On the reverse side, you'd find the classic Lincoln Memorial design, a symbol of unity and strength that was introduced in 1959, replacing the earlier wheat ears design. But among these billions of ordinary pennies, a few rare and extraordinary errors slipped through the minting process, errors so rare that they've turned a simple copper coin into one of the most valuable pieces in U.S. coinage history. The 1968 Lincoln penny has several varieties and minting mistakes that make it exceptionally desirable to collectors. These include double die obverse, off-center strikes, and die cracks that give each coin a unique fingerprint point. One of the most sought-after versions is the 1968 double die obverse penny. When viewed under magnification, the doubling effect can be seen most clearly on the inscriptions. "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date, 1968. This type of minting error occurs when the die that stamps the coin shifts slightly between strikes, creating a doubled image. Because the minting technology of the 1960s wasn't as advanced as it is today, such errors occasionally happened, but very few were ever released into circulation. Collectors who specialize in error coins pay enormous sums for these pieces, and the 1968 double die penny is one of the most famous examples. Another key reason why this coin is worth millions is its rarity in pristine condition. Most 1968 pennies were heavily circulated, meaning they show signs of wear and tear from decades of use. Finding one in mint-state condition, especially with a rare error, is like finding a needle in a haystack. Coins graded by the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Company, NGC, at a high grade such as MS-67 or MS-68 can fetch astronomical prices at auctions. In recent years, a small number of these high-grade coins have appeared in private collections and auction houses, with top specimens selling for record-breaking amounts. Let's take a closer look at the coin's physical details. The 1968 Lincoln penny is composed primarily of 95% copper and 5% zinc, giving it that distinctive reddish-brown tone that older pennies are known for. It weighs about 3.11 grams and measures 19 millimeters in diameter. On the obverse, Abraham Lincoln faces right, with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust." Above his head, Liberty, to the left, and the date, 1968, followed by the small letter, D, to the right, signifying it was minted in Denver. The reverse features the Lincoln Memorial, with the words, "United States of America," and "E Pluribus Unum" above it, and 1 cent below. Now, you might be wondering, how can a penny that millions of people once had in their pockets reach a value of $11 million? The answer lies in a combination of rarity, condition, demand, and historical significance. When collectors compete for a coin that's nearly impossible to find, the price skyrockets. The coin market operates much like art auctions. A unique item in flawless condition can attract bidding wars that push prices into the millions. The most valuable 1968 penny known today was authenticated and graded MS-68 read by PCGS, meaning it shows no signs of wear and retains its original luster. It was sold in a private auction for an astonishing price of $11 million, setting a record for modern U.S. cents. But that's not the only story that makes this coin so captivating. Over the years, rumors and discoveries have continued to fuel interest in this particular issue. Some collectors have reported varieties featuring unusual minting characteristics, like repunched mint marks or transitional planchet errors, where the wrong metal composition was used. Each of these varieties adds to the mystery and excitement surrounding the 1968 penny. The 1968 Lincoln penny also carries historical significance because it represents an era of transition in U.S. coinage. During the 1960s, the mint faced rising production costs due to the increasing price of copper. This would eventually lead to the change in composition for pennies in 1982, when the mint switched from copper-based coins to primarily zinc ones. That means that the 1968 penny belongs to the final decades of the traditional copper penny era, giving it additional nostalgic and collector value. So how can you find out if you have one of these rare and valuable 1968 pennies in your possession? The first step is to carefully inspect the coin under good lighting, using a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Look for any signs of doubling in the lettering or the date. Pay special attention to Liberty and In God We Trust. If you see even slight doubling, your coin could be a double die variety. Next, examine the mint mark. Some rare examples show a repunched D, where the mint mark was stamped more than once in slightly different positions. Condition is another major factor. Coins that have been kept in coin holders, rolls, or albums and show minimal wear are far more valuable. If your penny still has its bright red luster and sharp details, it could potentially be worth thousands, or even millions, depending on its grade. For accurate evaluation, you can send your coin to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Now, let's talk about market demand and collector appeal. Over the last few decades, the demand for Lincoln pennies has skyrocketed. Collectors love them because they are affordable to start with, yet offer the chance to discover extraordinary rarities. The 1968 D penny has gained a legendary reputation among both beginner and expert collectors. When a coin like this reaches a record auction price, it ignites a new wave of enthusiasm across the coin collecting world, inspiring people everywhere to check their old coin jars and inherited collections. Even in lower grades, 1968 D pennies can still hold decent value. For example, circulated examples with minor errors can sell anywhere between $10 and $500 depending on the type of error and its visibility. Proof-like strikes and special mint-set versions can fetch several $1,000s. But it's those ultra-rare, pristine, and perfectly preserved examples that reach the multi-million-dollar mark, the ones that make headlines and change lives. The coin's story also reminds us how the smallest details can make the biggest difference. A single misalignment during minting, a slight variation in the die, or an overlooked planchet flaw can turn an everyday coin into a collector's dream. It's a perfect example of how something seemingly ordinary can hold extraordinary value. Imagine finding one of these coins in a roll of old pennies or tucked away in an inherited jar of change. Many people have discovered valuable coins purely by accident, and you could too. The next time you come across a 1968 D penny, don't just toss it aside. Take a moment to inspect it carefully. It could be worth far more than a cent. Now let's discuss the role of auctions and grading in determining the final market value of such a coin. Professional grading not only authenticates a coin's legitimacy but also establishes its quality on a standardized scale. The higher the grade, the rarer and more desirable the coin becomes. For instance, an MS-65 red 1968 D penny might be valued in the hundreds, while an MS-67 could go for tens of thousands. But once you reach that near-perfect MS-68 or above, the value enters the realm of millions. The record $11 million sale was for such a specimen, a flawless example that stands as one of the finest known. In today's digital world, online platforms and coin forums have made it easier than ever to connect with collectors, share discoveries, and learn about new varieties. Rare coins like the 1968 D penny attract global attention, and serious buyers are always on the lookout for opportunities to acquire one of these treasures. Before we wrap up, let's quickly summarize what makes this coin so special.